Welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast. I'm Dianne, your lactation consultant, and I have been a lactation consultant since 2008, so a long time. And I have 3 kids that I breastfed, a set of twins that are 23 and a son that's 25. And that is it from me.
And I'm Abby, the Badass Breastfeeder. And I have 2 kiddos. Jack is 14, and he was breastfed and formula fed in the beginning. And then breastfed until 6.5 years old. And then I have Exley, who was 11, and he breastfed until he was around 5. And I have a social work background and left social work for full-time blogging. And that's all. And here I am. And today's episode is sponsored by Simple Wishes. Simple Wishes Seamless Collection was designed to grow, recover, and adapt with you through every stage of motherhood. And today's episode is also brought to you by Original Sprout. What started as one mother's solution to her daughter's sensitive skin is now a trusted line of vegan and cruelty-free products, soft enough for babies and effective for moms and the whole family. You can find all of our sponsors on our sponsor page at badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com. If you ever need anything, see if you can give them your business because they make this podcast possible. And while you're there, scroll down and enter your email address and we'll send episodes straight to your inbox every week. And we are on Patreon, and we would love to see you join our private and judgment-free community. You can access lactation support from members from Dianne, your IBCLC, and myself in our weekly wellness checks. You will also receive access to our new podcast, Revolution Parenting, where we talk about parenting topics to grow kinder and more compassionate adults. You'll have a community of badasses to receive parenting support during the most challenging times of parenthood. And your membership helps fund evidence-based, no-nonsense support here on the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast, as well as the Revolution Parenting Podcast. You can head to the top link in the show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from. And we're still hosting our ongoing giveaway for people who leave reviews around the internet, like on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening from. Leave a review, take a screenshot, send it along with your address to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com. And we will send you a goodie bag of Thank You for Nursing in Public cards and podcast stickers. If you can't leave a review, then you can share the podcast on your social media and take a screenshot of that and send it over as well. That's great. You're helping us spread the podcast around, and that's what we want. And also still hustling for breastfeeding photos. A couple of you have sent them, and I've shared them on social media. Thank you so much. I love doing that. If you have breastfeeding photos that you would be okay with me sharing, you can send them over to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com with a little bit about you or not. Either way. And now Dianne has our review of the week.
I do. And it says, I started listening to your podcast because I was looking for breastfeeding information while I was pregnant with my first, and I found y'all through Reddit. I listened quite a bit while pregnant, and when my son arrived, we started breastfeeding right away. We've had bumps along our journey, but listening to your podcast gave me a little bit of motivation to just keep practicing. We are almost 4 weeks in exclusively breastfeeding, and things are still hard. I listened to your podcast for tips to help me remember to just keep practicing. We've also seen a lactation consultant twice. I'm hoping things are just taking their time. Quick question, if you have a chance to answer it. My baby gets really fussy while feeding sometimes, makes a big scrunchy angry face, and pulls off the breast and screams. Usually milk pours all over his face when this happens too. Any idea why this is happening? It's mostly in the evening, and Dr. Google says it's gas. I burp after every feeding. What else can I do to help my little one? So yeah, today we're going to be talking about normal newborn breastfeeding problems. Like, is it a breastfeeding problem? Is it a baby thing? Like, what is it? And this kind of falls right in with that. And Dr. Google is probably right. It probably is just gas. It also sounds like you have a lot of milk. So it could be that the baby's like gulping and getting lots of milk, taking in some air with that gulping. So I would just try to burp him more frequently and see if that helps. Maybe try to lay back or recline or lay down when you're nursing him to help slow the flow of milk a little bit. That can also help. And it'll pass. Your baby will learn how to kind of handle the flow as well, which will make things a lot easier. But yeah, time, I know you said that like you hope things are going to get easier as they go on. Time really helps a lot. That newborn phase is hard. Like there's a lot going on in that newborn, like the first couple of weeks of life. There's a lot happening there.
Yeah. And I remember as well being like super freaked out about gas. Like, oh my God, he's gassy. Oh my God, we got to do the, what do they call those?
Those bicycle legs?
Yeah, the bicycle legs, but the drops.
Oh, the Mylicon. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't they have a stupid name?
Drops. Anyway. They have like...
There's some name for them. Anyway, those drops that you get about gas and then they do the bicycle legs and they take a warm bath and do all this stuff. I think also I would like to throw in gas as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's normal for your baby to be gassy because there's a lot of gas involved in eating and they don't know what to do with it yet. And it just bothers their stomach and it's fine. Like they're crabby. That's annoying. But like, there's nothing like wrong.
Right.
Like it's a normal thing. I remember being like so stressed out about it. Like we have to do something about this. There's something wrong. He's gassy. Oh my God. What is the intervention? What do we do? What can we buy?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they're just going to be like that for a while.
Yeah. And they don't have the core muscles to push the gas out.
Yeah.
The majority of the air they're taking in comes from crying. So then they're gassy from crying, which makes them cry more, which makes them gassier. It just becomes this like whole thing.
And then you can be like, and then you'll hear on your TV, like, oh, look at this formula. This formula is perfect for gassy babies. If your baby is gassy, they probably have some sort of issue. They're allergic to something that you're eating. They're whatever. And you take this formula. And then along with this formula, you can use this nipple that prevents them taking in air. And then that'll fix the problem too. This is all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
There's all complete bullshit right down to that nipple. Swallowing air while you're eating and crying and whatever is normal. That's going to happen. And there's no like magic formula that just like dissolves the gas or whatever they're claiming. So yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
But yeah, it's normal. And then after a little while, like after a couple of months, your baby does figure out how to get the gas out, and then it's not that big an issue. But when they're little, like a couple weeks old, it's like the worst thing to ever happen to them because they don't know. I mean, they don't know what's going on.
No, and they're uncomfortable and they cry. That's because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah. So do their little bicycle legs, burp them a little bit extra, and grape water. Is that what you were thinking?
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
I never used it.
I did.
Did you? Did it work?
No.
Yeah. So,
it doesn't work.
It's one of those things that and gas drops are one of those things where it's like, it'll work for a day. It'll work maybe 1 or 2 times, but then it doesn't work the next time. Like it just kind of. It's a kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Some people swear by it, but.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
But also gassy is normal. I mean, think about yourself. Sometimes you're gassy and it's just, that's a part of life.
But it's nothing you're eating like, it's not like you ate gassy food, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, beans, something like that. And now your baby's gassy. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Fiber does not get into your bloodstream, and fiber is what makes you gassy. Fiber leaves your body in the form of gas. So it is not something that it doesn't get into your milk because it doesn't get into the bloodstream.
And it's not, your milk is not made from like the contents of your stomach.
Exactly.
It's not like a smoothie. Like from what you ate.
Right.
It's coming from your blood.
Yep. So it's going to be Totally fine for you to eat those foods and not worry about, oh my God, my baby's going to be gassy if I eat these foods.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. You're fine.
I love how she said, though, in the review, I love how she said, I just have to keep practicing.
I know.
Like, that was a really good perspective. Like, you're practicing. You're not good at it yet. Nobody is. You and your baby are both practicing this, and then you get better as you go, like with anything else that you practice.
Yeah. I know. I love that. So thank you for that. Thank you for that perspective. And I hope you're listening. And we're going to talk more about normal behavior or breastfeeding problem. So as we said, gas is not a breastfeeding problem. It's a baby problem. Cluster feeding is our next one. So cluster feeding, oh my God. I remember when my twins would cluster feed. And it was like, they were so miserable. It was evening. They're miserable. Mm-hmm. They just wanted to be on the breast. They just weren't happy. They were screaming. We put them down together. One would scream the other one to sleep. Like it was, it was just chaos. And it was just so hard. It was so hard. And when I see parents now and they're dealing with cluster feeding, like it is so normal. And it's just something that newborns do. And it has nothing to do with, am I making enough milk? If anything, it's making more milk for you. Mm-hmm. Because when you're cluster feeding, when your baby's cluster feeding, they're stimulating your milk supply. They're telling your body, like, let's make more milk. Let's make more milk. So it's helping you. It's not hurting you. And it's just, it can feel overwhelming because it feels like all this baby's doing is eating. And cluster feeding might be like, okay, so the baby ate at 7:00 and now they're eating again at 7:30 and now they ate again at 8:15 and then they're eating again at 8:45 and then they're eating again at 9:30 and then they finally went to sleep. Like that would be kind of like a cluster feeding thing. They're just constantly on the breast and it makes you wonder, do you have enough milk? That is usually what comes from that. Is, do I have enough milk?
It's so stressful. It's just like something is wrong. Something is wrong with this baby. I can't put them down. They're so upset. They're nursing and they're popping off and crying and nursing and popping off and crying. They won't settle. It's again, I remember being so stressed out by it. Like something is wrong.
I know. And that's usually when people will supplement or give bottles of pumped milk instead, because they just think I'm not making enough milk right now. And you are. It's just
not the milk problem. It's the baby
right.
It's your baby it's your baby has a problem, not you.
We are all against the babies today.
Yeah.
It is the baby. And what they're doing, so they're cluster feeding, they're keeping your milk supply high. Cluster feeding is also like usually happens in the evening time. Every once in a while, I'll meet somebody who says it happened like earlier in the day, but typically it's evening-ish. Some people, oh my God, end up with it happening in the middle of the night. Ugh. God bless them. It's terrible. But the baby is fussy. Like Abby said, they're miserable. They're not happy no matter what you do with them. And a lot of that is overstimulation just from life, right? Just from the day. And you might notice that the days your baby is fussier in the evening and doing more cluster feeding might be a day that you were busier. Maybe you had doctor's appointments that day. Maybe you had company that day. Maybe you were running around with their toddler and the baby was just kind of coming along for the ride and slept the whole time, but now he's freaking out. Totally normal infant behavior. And this is something that we see, and those babies, like, they're regulating themselves, right? They're self-soothing. Like we've talked about this on the podcast before, that breastfeeding is self-soothing. Mm-hmm. So that is what they're doing. They are breastfeeding to soothe themselves, to calm themselves, to keep themselves like in tune, and it calms their little nervous system and their overstimulated nervous system, which is immature when they're newborn, and it helps them. So try to look at it from a different lens. try to look at it like, okay, I'm helping my baby right now instead of my baby's terrorizing me. Like try to think of it as they're helping you. You're helping them to calm down. You're helping them to settle. And that's what they need. They need that skin to skin time. They need that comfort time. And this is a newborn thing. This isn't something that's going to last throughout your breastfeeding. I mean, and that's the other thing, like things that babies do in the beginning. It's like, oh my God, are they going to do this the whole time I'm breastfeeding them? If so, I'm not breastfeeding for a year because I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like that's how it feels, but they're not going to cluster feed till they're a year. They won't do that. This is a newborn thing that is not a breastfeeding problem. It's a baby thing.
That reminds me of that quote. It's like, my baby is having a hard time. They're not giving me a hard time.
Aw, that's so great.
I shared that one time and my friend was like, sometimes both.
That's very true. Yeah.
Because it feels like, why are you giving me such a hard time? It's like, well, they're having a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I saw, and this has nothing to do with this, but I saw a family today who the baby is not taking a bottle from the babysitter. And the parents just went back to work like a week ago. Well, the mom went back to work a couple days a week and the dad was home with the baby. Now the dad went to work. So the baby is with a different caretaker a couple days a week. That is neither of the parent and refusing to take a bottle. And at one point, mom walked in early and gave the baby the bottle. The baby took the bottle fine from mom. But the babysitter was like, what? But I was like,
oh, it's me.
I know. But I was like, she's struggling. She's just struggling to acclimate to her new to her new setup. This is different for her. Yeah. She's got new caretakers now. Like sometimes when you go back to work, babies will struggle a little bit to get used to their new normal. And the same thing, like they're not trying to give you a hard time. They are having a hard time.
I remember that after I had Exley, I was trying to make some like time for Jack and I to spend together. So I had a babysitter come once a week and Jack and I would go to this like play thing together. Aww. And it got to the point where like the doorbell would ring and I would open it and she would be like, Exley could see her coming. And as soon as he saw her, he'd start crying.
Aww.
He's like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Oh, it's hard for them.
It is. It is hard.
And you feel so guilty and like.
I know. She's like, I got to go to work. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, you do.
She'll adapt. It's just going to take a little time.
Yeah.
So distraction is another one where this is really normal. And sometimes people will think like, is the baby weaning? Distraction happens usually around the 3-month mark, 3 to 4 months, where babies are just discovering the world around them. And they're like, oh, look at that. Oh, look, the dog has a tail. Oh, look, there's my dad. Oh, look, there's my grandma. Oh, there's something on TV. Oh, mom's holding a phone. Like there's so much stuff for them to look at and every little noise like disrupts them and they just are so distracted that it's hard to feed them. And that is not like sometimes people, are they weaning? Do I not have enough milk right now? They're pulling off. Not latching, only staying on for a couple minutes. The baby's feeding extra, like more frequently than they used to. And that's because they're feeding less because they're distracted and popping off and going and wanting to do other things. And they're just distracted. So the best thing to do with those babies is to take away all that distraction. If you can. Sometimes if you have other kids, you can't be like, all right, toddler, I'm going into a dark room. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Like you can't do that, obviously. Your toddlers will be wreaking havoc outside the door. So you have to do the best you can. But if you can go into like a dark room, make sure your TV's turned off, put down your phone, make sure everybody knows, like, you
can put them in a carrier.
Put them in a carrier.
You can like a carrier, and then like some of the carriers, like those buckle carriers, like the Ergo or the Lila Baby or whatever. Mm-hmm. They have like a little flap that you can pull up, and it covers their head and everything.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. But this is also something.
Although if you're talking about a newborn, then you're going to make sure you use the newborn insert with those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is also something that passes. Then they're not going to do this for very long. They might be distracted like this for a few weeks, and then they're going to kind of get back into their old breastfeeding routine again. Some people will use like a nursing necklace or something, keep something for them to focus on and play with while they're nursing. That can be really helpful. Like a big chunky beaded necklace, something you can put around your neck that they can play with only while you're breastfeeding. You only use it while you're breastfeeding, and they'll focus on that and maybe play with it a little bit while they're nursing, and that'll keep them busy. But it's a very normal process and just developmentally something that babies go through. So very normal. But we should probably take a break, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple more.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Simple Wishes. Simple Wishes Seamless Collection was designed to grow, recover, and adapt with you through every stage of motherhood. Rather than housing drawers full of barely worn bras that no longer fit your body or lifestyle, this convertible design gives you the best of both worlds. Nursing ready with an easy drop cup when you need it to a beautifully streamlined with no visible plastic nursing clips when you don't. The magic is in the interchangeable straps. Whether your breastfeeding journey lasts 2 hours, 2 days, 2 years, or more, this one-of-a-kind bra supports your choices 100%. Its one-of-a-kind patented design is Oikotex certified. It's wire-free with 4-way stretch fabric and light padding for a smooth look. Choose from fixed or removable pad options. One viewer wrote, "I love how I feel supported and contained compared to other brands. The clasp is easy, the bra washes nicely, it looks good under clothing and provides a nice shape. Once this journey is done, I can see myself converting to an everyday bra." Well done, and thank you to Simple Wishes, signed an exhausted mom that didn't realize what a difference the right bra can make. Head to simplewishes.com and use code BADASS for 50% off of your purchase. Simplewishes.com, and you'll get 50% off of your purchase when you use code BADASS. And today's episode is also brought to you by Original Sprout, a brand that began with a mother's love for her child. Back in 2003, when the founder couldn't find a hair care product gentle enough for her own daughter's sensitive skin, she created one herself, bringing the same care and intention we all use when choosing products for our kids. They use gentle ingredients with no harsh sulfates, parabens, or phthalates. Their formulas are also made without essential oils like tea tree or lavender, which some families choose to avoid during sensitive stages like postpartum and breastfeeding. What started as one mother's solution is now a trusted line of vegan and cruelty-free favorites, soft enough for babies and effective enough for the whole family. You can check out the entire line at originalsprout.com and use code BADASS26 for 25% off your order. That's Original Sprout, code BADASS26 for 25% off of your order. Now, today's promo codes and the direct links can be found in the show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from. And you can also find it over at badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com, where you will find all of our other episodes, our favorite resources page, and information about scheduling your very own one-on-one online lactation consultation with Dianne.
Yeah. So shallow latching is another thing that sometimes will happen. This is not uncommon. And sometimes babies, like obviously in the beginning, they might have a shallow latch. They're just trying to figure things out. They're just trying to work it out. They're learning, lots of practice, like our review person said today. Lots of practice will help with that. And you just need to work on, both of you, getting that latch good and deep to where you're comfortable. And then you're going along and everything's fine. And then that latch goes shallow again. And this can happen due to growth. Your baby's growing, their face is growing, their jaw is growing. They could be teething. If they're getting teeth, sometimes that causes more of a shallow latch because their mouth again is growing and reshaping. As they get older, if you're breastfeeding a toddler, that can cause a more shallow latch, and you might have to work on that latch again with your toddler. So this is all really normal. I actually got a text not too long ago from a mom who was having breast pain. She's like, the baby is 14 months now. I thought we were past breastfeeding problems. She's like, and now I'm having pain again. And I'm like, it sounds like a shallow latch. It, just really make sure that the baby is, especially, and she's like, when we co-sleep, and I'm like, it could be like during the night that latch just gets lazy and you're asleep and not paying attention, and that'll do it. So, and I know you've talked about this too, that when Jack was a toddler, you had to kind of work with him again on his latch.
Yeah. 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 There's so many different phases with breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're always every month you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, we're in such a different place right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he would get really shallow and I'd have to be like, you have to open your mouth more. He also started doing this thing where he was like rocking his head back and forth while he was nursing. It was like pulling. And I'm like, dude, stop. No, you can't do that. I mean, so yeah, you just got to constantly be working on this.
Babies do some weird things.
They do.
They do this thing too where they'll pull, like how you just said pulling.
Oh yeah.
But they'll like put their hand on your chest. Usually they're kind of like, I don't know, a few months in or whatever, and they'll pull. And parents are like, why are they doing that? I'm like, I don't know. That is just a baby thing, man.
Yeah, they just figured out that they could.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll like, also during this whole distracted phase, they'll like sometimes look around and they're still latched on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like turning around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. And then they get older babies and then they're just like, sometimes they're upside down. They're smacking you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, Jesus.
Pulling your hair. Yeah.
Just putting their fingers in your mouth.
Or up your nose.
Right.
Yep. Totally. Yeah. Babies are they're wild. They're a wild sort, let me tell you. But they will do all those things. So the next one that I have is sleepy. So this is very, very normal. This is so normal. Babies, when they're born, are sleepy. And that could be like, especially in those first 24 to 48 hours, they're pretty sleepy. A lot of it is like the medication you got maybe during labor, they might be sleepier. Birth is exhausting. They're just going to be sleepy. And then they're going to start to wake up a little bit, but they get next to the breast and they're like, they'll take a few sucks and then doze off. And it's like, oh my God, trying to keep them awake. Some babies are sleepier than others, and it's hard to kind of keep them awake. If they're not feeding well, they might be sleepier even because they're just not getting that calories that they need. So sometimes we have to feed them and get them and, get their weight up a little bit in order for them to feed really efficiently and voraciously because they're just so sleepy. So this is pretty normal that we see sleepy babies. And if somebody tells you that, oh, your baby is like abnormally sleepy, that's not something. No. I mean, abnormally sleepy babies are like jaundice babies. Those babies are abnormally sleepy. But your average newborn baby that's sleepy, they're not like, oh my God, they're so sleepy. There's something wrong with them.
Well, and it's also normal to be sleepy when you have jaundice. So
yeah,
they're extra sleepy. That's part of being jaundice.
And it is part of being.
People will say all kinds of things about babies. It's like, good God.
So sleepy is very normal, and you can expect it. This is one of the reasons why we say strip your baby down, change their diaper, strip them down. Like during the daytime when you're home and it's a newborn, absolutely take your baby, undress them, change their diaper. All that stuff will kind of get them up and stimulated and ready to roll, and feed them with just a diaper on. They're not going to get cold. They're little heaters. They're going to be warm next to you, but that skin to skin is going to help them to stay awake better for a feeding. So definitely do that. If you're having trouble keeping your baby awake for a feeding, then just undress them and get them down to their diaper and feed them that way, because that's going to help a lot. Take them off, put them down for a minute. That'll get them, because then they'll be like, wait, where'd my... That'll help to kind of re-wake them up again. Very, very normal, though. Very normal. And, a lot of people, too, will say, like, the baby just sleeps, eats, and I change the diaper. Like, that's all. And you expect to get, like, this playtime with them or, awake time. And you don't really get that until they're, like, a month.
Yeah.
You don't. They're like a sack of potatoes until then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like... whatever.
Yeah, you're both just supposed to be resting, nursing, lying around, eating, drinking water, and just relaxing. You've been through a lot.
Yeah. So don't worry if your baby is a little bit sleepy. They're going to get past it, and then they're not going to be sleepy anymore, and they're going to be very vocal. So don't even worry about it. You will get past that sleepy stage. And that's it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.